Like many fine Georgians, Bobby Deen is fond of that old saying, eat like a champ. And as the son of Paula Deen, he did. But even champs need to know when to dial it back a bit. So Bobby went to his own kitchen and resolved to find a way to make his mother's good food good for you.
Bobby Deen is the son of legendary cook and TV host Paula Deen. He worked for his mom when he was a teenager, delivering lunches. Eventually, he helped build the brand that made her a household name. Bobby and his brother Jamie were raised on their mother's Southern cooking, but they can't eat her rich food every day. As a young man, Bobby found himself 25 pounds overweight and unwilling to give up any of his favorite foods. In his cookbook, From Mama's Table to Mine, Bobby shares how he found a way to slim down his mom's recipes without losing 1 ounce of flavor.
He's here with us now. Bobby Deen, welcome back.
How do you do?
It's great to have you back with us.
It's so nice to be with you. Thank you.
I had so much fun reading this cookbook. It's called From Mama's Table to Mine.
That's right.
But I love the little subtitle down here is Everybody's Favorite Comfort Foods at 350 calories or less.
Right.
What are some of the substitutes that you used in this?
Well, you know, there are really easy choices that you can make when you're in your supermarket or your grocery store to go with a low sodium or a low in sugar. You know, the things that it's pretty
Just
clear,
kinda,
obviously.
yeah,
but I did some digging around. My mother, when I was a young person, I feel so fortunate that she taught me how to cook and how to clean up after myself. She always said, Bobby, look, whenever you do something, go exactly by the recipe the first time. And then after that, do whatever you'd like to and make it your own. So it was a natural thing for me to do this, to recreate traditional Southern recipes. And it was a challenge, but it was a labor of love. I enjoyed doing it, and I learned all kinds of things.
I bet you did.
And I've got something I want to show you today.
Great. Let's look at it.
This is a very Southern dish. This is country fried steak and gravy.
That is a Southern dish.
And probably everybody's mama did it at home. Mine certainly did. This might be a little bit hot. I've already turned it on, so don't let me burn either one of us. But we'll start with the gravy, and I'm going to ask you to help me so that we don't burn it. That is just a low-sodium beef broth. Okay. And then we've got a fat-free half and half, which almost doesn't sound right, but it's true.
It's true, yeah.
So we'll get that going, and we'll stir it and make sure that it doesn't burn in any way.
Just do it with a whisk?
Sure, of course. And we're going to make a little slurry, which I've had people tell me they've never heard that word before. But have you not?
No,
it's pretty common in the kitchen. This is going to be our thickening agent, and this is called a slurry when you do this. I've got a little cornstarch and a little bit of the leftover low-sodium beef broth. We'll add those two things together, and we'll just stir it until that cornstarch sort of dissolves. And now what I'm doing basically, I've certainly not turned my back on my heritage or my mother's foods or comfort foods. I think that I've just learned balance and moderation, and I've sort of taken Sunday food and turned it into Monday food is what I'm doing. So the slurry goes in, and you'll see that that's going to thicken up our gravy. This is a really simple dish that you can do at home. The criteria that I wanted these recipes to fit in for this book obviously was 350 calories or less. Secondly, I wanted them to be simple. I didn't want to muddy the waters by making the recipes more difficult.
Won't use them if they're not simple.
Exactly. I've got some beautiful cookbooks at home that are basically paperweights because I can't find the ingredients to them in the store.
Love to look at them, but I don't use them.
And I wanted them to be affordable.
Yes.
Especially in this day and age when people are counting their pennies a little bit. I'm just going to give you some pepper, some fresh cracked pepper, and you'll stir that, make sure it don't burn. I'll turn it down to make double sure that it doesn't burn. And then we'll get to the other part of the recipe here, which is the cube steak. And that's what this is. This is cube steak, but if you don't have cube steak at home, or if for some reason you can't get your hands on it, you could use a top or a bottom round, and you could just pound it out with your meat mallet and make your own homemade cube steak. So what we'll do is, let me season it a little bit first. This is house seasoning, what we call it. My mama and my brother and I all keep this on our kitchen counters, and we use it in the restaurant. It's just salt, pepper, and garlic powder. And that is a great seasoning for fish, fowl, just about anything that you wanted to do. So, and here's another way that we're going to lighten this recipe up, and this is a pretty clever thing to me here. Got an egg mixture, obviously, which you would expect. This is going to be 1% milk, an egg, and a few dashes of hot sauce, standard stuff. And over here, we've got unsweetened cornflakes. This is clever as well. You can go to your breakfast aisle, find unsweetened, that's the important part, unsweetened cornflakes, and then just pound them out. You see, that almost looks like cornmeal. It's so pounded.
I thought it was cornmeal.
It looks like it. So what we'll do is we'll just run our steaks through the flour.
Okay.
And get some flour on them and get the excess off of it. And then, of course, into the egg wash, and I think you see what's happening here. Now, the major difference between this and my mama's and lots of folks' mama's country fried steak recipe is it's not fried. We're going to bake it instead. And that's a very simple way to cut calories. So, through our cornflake mixture here.
Just making sure it's covered.
Yes, ma'am. Just make sure it's covered. There's that, and we'll do another one, and we'll pop them into the oven. And I think maybe through the magic of television, we'll have a swap back there that we can take a look at. So there, and you see this is really simple.
Okay.
Nothing's expensive. We don't have anything. We don't have anything here that is a major villain in a recipe. This is a very naturally low in fat recipe so far.
Okay.
So bang bang. I'm gonna pop these into the oven. If you'll just watch our gravy for a minute, you're in charge of that.
I'm still stirring.
How does it look? Oh, that looks beautiful. Looks beautiful. I'll pop these into the oven, and I'll come back with something for you.
Okay.
Now if you need to, you can turn that off if it's ready.
How thick do you want it?
Well, it was looking pretty close whenever I peeked over your shoulder. That looks beautiful to me. We can turn it off.
Okay.
I think we can turn it off. Now look at that. That's really, really simple, and that's hot, so please be careful. Don't touch it. We can make a little beauty here, as we call it in the restaurant business. How about that?
Gorgeous.
A couple of pieces of country fried steak. And why don't you, we got a ladle there, why don't you ladle us some of that pepper gravy over it, and let's see if it's pretty enough to take a picture of. Ooh, look at that there. That looks beautiful. Now that is a dish that people can feel. Yes, ma'am. Right after my own heart. That is something that you can feel good about feeding your family on a more regular basis. It's not fried. It's very heart healthy, and it's a very simple and affordable dish. And we've got some good sides. Were you about to tell me something or ask me something?
No, I'm looking at all of this, and I'm saying we're running short on time, but I want you to tell us quickly what you've got here so people know what they're going to find in here.
Crab cakes, and we were talking about moderation and balance. Yes. You see, these are mini crab cakes, which the only problem is you can eat many more of them. Yeah. Green bean and mushroom casserole.
Amazing
it's
looking.
Wonderful, super Southern traditional stuff. Macaroni and cheese, a red velvet cake.
Boy, this is Southern. I mean, macaroni and cheese, red velvet cake, it doesn't get any more Southern than that.
And they're all very good.
So good. And look at how beautiful. And this is 350 calories
per serving. Per serving. That's what you have to remember. And I think that we might have lost sight of what a serving size is.
Yeah, but this is great. I want to say there's so much in here. I love to be able to see what I'm cooking, and the pictures in here, fabulous.
Thank you. If
you'd like to get great meal ideas, get Bobby's book. It's called From Mama's Table to Mine. It's available in stores nationwide, and we know you're absolutely going to love it. I've already earmarked mine with several things.
Thank you, Miss Terry. I'm blessed to be with you.
Family.
I appreciate it.